Thank you for joining today's session. We will be getting started shortly. We do have a lot of folks signed up for today's session, and we want to give everyone a moment to log on and get connected so that we can dive into today's session. I do want to thank you all for joining us today. I'm Jasmine Garrett here with the New Jersey Economic Development Authority. Today's session is an informational overview on NJEDA's clean energy programs. A quick housekeeping note, we do suspect that many questions will be answered in today's presentation. However, you are able to write in questions at any point during the presentation using Zoom's Q&A feature. It is one of your Zoom command options and will allow us to make sure we're able to get back to you and let others see these questions and answers as well. Today's session is being recorded and will also be posted on our NJEDA and YouTube pages. The slides and other resources will be available in the next few days. Now to get us started with the presentation, I will shift things over to NJEDA's Director of Clean Energy, Dan Fatton. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine, and welcome folks to our second office hours. This is intended to be informational for folks, and we are excited to detail our existing programs and a couple things that are in the works coming soon in 2026. Like Jasmine said, we encourage you to use the Q&A tool if you have questions as we go through, and we'll have time at the end to have more of a discussion if there are questions or comments. So just as an overview, EDA really views our clean energy programs as doing two things. One, driving down emissions from the transportation and clean energy and building sectors, but also encouraging economic development through investments in grants and loan programs that help businesses go green and save money. So we have a suite of existing programs. We're going to walk through each of those. And we have two more programs, Retrofit NJ and Take Charge, which we're expecting to launch in the first quarter of 2026. And we're going to preview those items since they were approved by our board this fall. To kick us off, today's a big day for our transportation programs. We launched applications for purchasers earlier this morning. And so I want to turn it to Lena Ravetti on our team to talk through the ZIP program. Lena?
Thanks, Dan. Hi, everyone. I'm a project officer here at the Clean Energy team. I've been with the Clean Energy team for a little over 2 years now, and I'm going to walk you through our NJZIP program. As Dan mentioned, purchaser applications launched for the third phase of the program this morning at 10 a.m. Overall, it's our longest standing clean energy program, and phase one of the program first launched in 2021. So the program itself is designed to support the purchase of zero emission medium and heavy duty commercial vehicles, anywhere from class 2B to class 8. Base vouchers start at $15,000 for the class 2B vouchers, and then the base voucher for the class 8 goes all the way up to $175,000. In order to be eligible for the program, the applicant must be a New Jersey-based commercial, industrial, or institutional entity. The program has a compliance period 3 years following delivery of those vehicles. So the purchaser, to participate in the program, must purchase and register new vehicles within 18 months of that voucher approval. And then they have to operate 75% of the vehicle's miles traveled in New Jersey, as I mentioned, for 3 years following delivery of those vehicles. There are, in addition to the base vouchers that I mentioned, additional stackable bonuses. We have a 4% per qualification for certified minority, women, or veteran-owned businesses. We also offer 25% bonus for small businesses, an additional 25% on school buses specifically. And in phase three, we've reintroduced the scrappage bonus for small businesses that are going to be replacing one of their existing ICE vehicles with a ZIP funded vehicle, and that's a $3,000 bonus per scrapped vehicle. This slide here illustrates some of the classes that are, it illustrates the classes that are supported under the program and some of the vehicles that are eligible. The program is pretty open in terms of vehicles that are eligible. Anything that can be registered commercially through the Motor Vehicle Commission would be eligible, even if it were a specialty vehicle. So these are just some examples of vehicles that would be eligible, but it's not exhaustive. And as I mentioned, the program we are launching the third phase. So we've gone through two successful phases of the program, and we've included some highlights here from ZIP recipients to date. We report on the projects that we approve so that emissions calculations can be reported as well. As Dan mentioned, that's a priority of our team, is to make sure that we can reduce emissions in the state. And so um, we make sure that we do those calculations as well. And with that, I think I'm going to hand it over to Sean to take us through the financing program, which is a complementary program to the grant program that I just mentioned.
Thanks, Lena. Appreciate you walking us through that. As Lena said, my name is Sean Sonneman. I'm one of the managers on the clean energy team here at the EDA. Today, I'm going to highlight our other transportation-related program that opened applications up this morning. It's the NJZEV financing program. This is the first time we are opening applications for this program to purchasers in the state. And as Lena mentioned, it is a financing program that's really meant to complement and support the work of NJZIP. As NJZIP provides a grant style through a voucher that reduces the upfront purchase price for those vehicles, the NJZEV program can provide financing for the balance of vehicle costs that is not met by a voucher. It is also welcome to be accessed by applicants independent of the NJZIP program. So if for some reason you choose not to, perhaps you have other grant funding or simply are unable to get an NJZIP voucher, you can also apply for the NJZIP loan on its own. This is a 5-year loan with a loan total from $50,000 all the way up to $500,000. And as I mentioned, it can be used for the purchase price of those zero emission vehicles, same class and type of vehicles that are eligible under NJZIP, the medium and heavy duty zero emission vehicles. We opened up applications this morning with $25 million to support applicants purchasing vehicles that will be based and operated in New Jersey. And applicants are also agreeing to the same compliance terms that Lena highlighted for the NJZIP program, 3 years of registration and minimum 75% of miles traveled within the state of New Jersey. I'll flag as well that we do have a $15 million set aside for applicants who are operating in the state's overburdened communities. You'll see some more details on that definition and map later on in the presentation. And important to note, we are really designing this loan to be cost competitive, where rates are quite low. It will vary depending on the applicant's strength of credit and overall the rates that are available from the U.S. Treasury at time of application approval and closing. But an applicant applying today could get a loan potentially even lower than 2% interest rate. So quite favorable and really designed to help mobilize additional vehicles on the road and put our funding available to work to support our businesses in the state. One last thing I'll highlight here for NJZEV, it is eligible only for commercial applicants, where NJZIP can also support those institutional, nonprofit, and other local government entities. NJZEV, as it is a loan, is only eligible for-profit corporations that are operating in New Jersey. So I encourage you to apply, and with that, I will turn it over to Jessica, who will talk about an additional program that can support vehicle electrification and transportation.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sean. I'm Jessica. I'm an analyst on the team. I've been working with Lena on ZIP for over a year now, and I'm happy to introduce this new program that was approved by our board at the end of last month, which, as Sean mentioned, will also support vehicle electrification by covering the costs of charging infrastructure. So this is a pretty flexible grant as well. And we're able to cover everything from hardware to installation costs to those make-ready upgrades, which are the various electrical and construction upgrades required to enable the delivery of electricity for chargers. And this program is available to private fleets, and we're defining fleets as a commercial entity that has at least 2 vehicles, but there's a lot of flexibility there as well. as you don't have to have electric vehicles already as a fleet to apply. As we understand, you might need the infrastructure in place before you can make those investments. So you can have light duty vehicles, off-road vehicles, or even marine vessels to be eligible. And we have a list of eligible costs that the grant will be applied to, ranging from $50,000 to $5 million. And we will be reimbursing the grant based on actual expenses incurred up to 50% of eligible costs. An additional thing to note here for eligibility, if you are charging as a service provider or a property owner and would like to develop charging infrastructure, you will also be eligible as long as you partner with a fleet that would otherwise meet the eligibility requirements. We also have a few bonuses available to increase that reimbursement cap. In particular, I want to highlight that we have a bonus for projects that will have renewable energy or battery energy storage systems to power chargers, given some of the timeline and financial bottlenecks that come with connecting to the grid to power charging infrastructure. So more details to come next year when we launch applications, but excited to introduce another program to help support our other transportation programs on the team. And I will be passing it over now to Andy to change gears towards our building programs.
Good afternoon. My name is Andy Garcia. I am a product officer here with the Clean Energy team as well. And I will be going over retrofit, which should be launching in Q1 of next year. It is a $75 million grant program to support large-scale building decarbonization. It's intended for campuses, large office buildings, corporate parks, housing complexes. The grants are $75 million of the grant money is set aside for overburdened communities as well as institutional properties. It's meant to support both soft and hard costs. So you can do engineering, design, commissioning, all that would be included. That is capped at 20% of the total project costs. And it is a rolling application, so it's first come, first serve. And in order to be eligible for the grant, you do have to be a commercial, industrial or institutional building owner or a tenant. If you are a tenant, you need your landlord's permission. And you have to, your lease has to extend 1 year past the construction time period. The eligible buildings are any commercial, industrial, apartments of 5 units or larger, public properties, churches, cemeteries, and other tax exempt properties. Projects must involve 3 of the 5 scopes listed here, which are on-site renewables, on-site energy storage, heating, electrification, refrigerant replacement, or general energy efficiency measures. In addition, you can do a thermal energy network as a standalone project. That does not have to include any of the above. And EVs can be added to either of the projects. However, they are not a qualifying criteria. The projects have to be a minimum of $5 million with grants starting at $2.5 million. You cannot have started construction on any of this. You cannot have placed deposits on anything. You have to start everything once your application is submitted. And then there's obviously labor compliance criteria. It is prevailing wage, and you have to demonstrate a reduction of at least 1 ton of CO2 for every $250 in grant awards over the life of the useful project. Yeah. Again, the grants go from 2.5 million up to 12.5 million for thermal energy networks and 10 million for all other projects. 50% of the eligible costs are covered for private entities and 60% for institutional. And there's a 5% bonus for any projects in overburdened communities or adjacent census blocks. And it is a reimbursement-based project. So there is payment tranches where you would receive up to 20% at the grant agreement. If you've done pre-construction work, there is an 18-month look-back period for that. And then you would get at 1/3, 2/3, and 3/3 construction for the additional reimbursements. And then we'll pass it over to NJ Cool. Lloyd.
Thanks, Andy. Appreciate that. Hello, everyone. I'm Lloyd Lomolino, Product Officer for the NJ Cool program. This program is a grant opportunity that provides incentives to building owners in existing commercial, industrial, institutional buildings with the goal of reducing the operating emissions from the existing building. The grant awards cover up to 50% of total eligible project costs, and they range from $50,000 up to $1 million. In addition to being an industrial, institutional, and commercial building, The building also must be located within a New Jersey overburden community or adjacent census block. The program is open to eligible applicants that are either building owners or the tenant themselves. If you are a tenant, you must get the building owner's approval in order to apply to the program. As mentioned, you must be within an overburden community or an adjacent community to be eligible for the program. And the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection has a mapping tool that you can use to reference whether your site is within one of the eligible communities. To do this, you can follow the link that we do include on here, and then use a search function in the top right-hand side. Type in your building address. Once you search it, it will either fall into a turquoise or yellow area, which are the overburden communities or the adjacent communities. If it falls into one of these colored polygons, then the building is eligible for NJ Cool funding. We recently completed a project in Edison for Samar Pan Edison LLC, which is an independent franchisee of Dunkin' Donuts. They received a $130,000 grant through NJ Cool, and they replaced their existing gas-powered rooftop unit with an all-electric air source heat pump, as well as improved the energy efficiency of the building by utilizing low energy LEDs, as well as improving insulation within the interior. And with that, I will pass it over to Ahmed to talk about cells.
Great. Thank you, Lloyd. Good afternoon, everyone. Amit Chaudhary. I'm a manager on the clean energy team here at NJEDA. Just here to give a quick overview of our NJ Clean Energy Loans Program, which is an 80 million co-lending initiative through which we finance loans of 250,000 all the way up to 10 million. And as mentioned, it's co-lending, so you must have a private lender that also provides at least a one-to-one match with the EDA loan. So the total loan size is anywhere from 500,000 all the way up to 20 million. We are flexible with the terms. They can be anywhere from 1 to 25 years. And the EDA loan has an interest rate 4% below the private lender's interest rate. So it can go all the way down to as low as zero. And there are additional interest rate bonuses for reducing the interest rate, which include a 1% reduction if you are a minority woman or veteran-owned business, and an additional 1% if the project is in an overburdened community. And Lloyd just earlier mentioned how you can go on the EJ map tool that will be provided and linked in this presentation to search and determine if you are located in an OBC. Our board actually just recently approved this reduction. Previously, the loan interest rate reduction was at 3%, and we just increased that reduction to 4% now. So the total interest rate reduction that can be realized is anywhere from 4 to 6%. We are targeting applicants for this program that are small businesses, and that's defined as companies with 750 or less employees. And that's based on the U.S. Treasury definition under their State Small Business Credit Initiative, which is the funding source for this initiative. And just to give another example of an award highlight, we recently, over the past year, 2 years actually, awarded Solar Landscape, which is a leading commercial and community solar developer headquartered in Asbury Park. And they were provided with a 10 million loan to expand their business in June 2024 by the EDA. And with that, I will hand it over to my colleague Max to cover the CPACE program.
Thanks, Ahmed. Hi, everyone. My name is Max Frank. I'm a senior project officer on the clean energy team and program manager of the Garden State CPACE program. CPACE stands for Commercial Property Assessed Clean Energy, and the EDA recently launched the project application back in July, adding the New Jersey program to the long list of other programs around the country that have proven very successful. So CPACE as a program enables eligible commercial real estate owners to undertake certain kinds of eligible improvements and repay the investment of those improvements back as a special assessment on their property tax bill or alongside their property tax bill. Eligible improvements include energy efficiency, renewable energy generation, energy storage, EV infrastructure, water conservation, resiliency, and a handful of others. As I mentioned, loans get repaid as part of the property taxes. So in New Jersey, it is billed annually and collected quarterly. And ultimately, CPACE is a senior lien that stays with the property, not the property owner. So it transfers with the property sale. And it becomes a senior lien. And as such, the owner of the property gets access to comparably lower interest rates with financing up to 30 years. There are a handful of benefits for the different parties that are involved in the CPACE process. For municipalities, they see increased ratables. For the property owner, there is local energy generation and, of course, energy savings from energy efficiency projects. Altogether, everyone sees reduced greenhouse gas emissions, and of course, there is a boost to local economic development. We have applications live right now. If you are a municipality, you are enabled to submit a participating municipality application on the program website alongside the capital provider and technical reviewer applications. And the email is on the screen here, so please feel free to submit any project information for any prospective projects through the email. Currently, we have 9 municipalities signed up. We are in the process of reviewing and approving many others, and we anticipate many more to come through the process in the near future. So please don't hesitate. If you are a municipality, submit an application, reach out. We're happy to engage. If you're a project owner, same thing. And just generally, if you're looking to learn more about the program, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Thanks, Max. So our colleagues at the Green Bank recently launched their first debt product, and so it's technically within another department at EDA, but we didn't want to leave out the option for those that are looking for clean energy financing tools. That the Green Bank is accepting expressions of interest. For those that are interested, the best thing to do would be to go to the Green Bank website, greenbanknj.gov, and there's an expression of interest form that you can fill out to kickstart a conversation, or you can just email the team directly at info@greenbanknj.gov. And this is another option for those that are looking to bring renewable energy projects or battery storage, building decarb, or clean transportation projects to a reality here in New Jersey. So that can take a variety of forms, but encourage you to peruse their website and contact them directly if you're interested in green bank financing. And I think on the next page, there's a suite of how those green bank loans can be structured in terms of the term, in terms of the financing needs, and the desired transaction type. So again, the best option, if you are a business, nonprofit, academic institution, a local government, those are all eligible borrowers for the Green Bank, and you can reach out to them directly if you're interested. I'm going to turn it to Erica to talk about the manufacturing program Next NJ.
Thank you. I'm Erica Briderman. I am the Director of Manufacturing Partnerships. So I work with manufacturing companies throughout New Jersey, even those that are not in the clean energy space. And we have a new program out recently. It's called the Next New Jersey Manufacturing. The objective of this particular program is to not only encourage investment in manufacturing, but also encourage the increase in workforce and also the coordination with workforce development agencies and entities. So it's a $500 million total tax credit allocation. 100 million of that will be set aside for the first 2 years to be focused on clean energy manufacturing. Eligible businesses can receive up to 25% of their investment or a cap of $150 million per project. There are some bonuses in there as well, but there is a hard cap at 150 million. These are tax credits that will be dispersed over 5 years. It's corporate business tax credit, but it is a transferable corporate business tax credit. So if your business is not a corporate, a C Corp in New Jersey, you can still participate in this program and then transfer the credits through a sale or other type of transfer. And one of the criteria that we need to work on for the qualifications is you need to work with a workforce development entity here in New Jersey. That can be something as simple as working with the local community college, or it can be working with any number of different types of entities, including those that are religious affiliation based, etc. But you need to have an agreement with them to help develop their curriculum and to support their programs. So, next slide. The focus on this again is creation of jobs. So there's a minimum of 20 new full-time positions that need to be created. That is over and above an existing positions that you have, and you must maintain the existing permanent positions for the full compliance period for the program. You must have a minimum of $10 million of capital investment. That does not include the purchase of real estate. It is anything that goes on top of the real estate, equipment, or et cetera, that you might be investing in the facility, but it's a $10 million minimum requirement. And as I mentioned before, there is a collaboration requirement with a workforce development entity. The facility that is created out of it must be primarily used for manufacturing. There can be other activities that are part of manufacturing, such as the shipping area or receiving, et cetera, can be considered in that, but it must be primarily manufacturing. You can read down through the other requirements there. You must be in good standing, as with all of our programs. You must be in good standing with our taxation agencies throughout New Jersey. And if there is construction, there is a prevailing wage requirement and an affirmative action requirement. Next slide. All right, I'm going to hand this over to Alina.
I think this is actually my slide, so I'll present on that.
Hi,
everybody. My name's Ina. I am the project officer for the Workforce Innovation Partnerships team, and I'm going to be presenting on the Green Workforce Training Grant Challenge, which is managed by my colleague Kathy Uhas with support from myself. So this is a competitive grant that aims to implement workforce development training programs that support the green economy pipeline in the state, and also focuses specifically on New Jersey overburdened communities. So in April of 2025, we made 4 awards that totaled over $4.3 million. Those awards were made to Elizabeth Development Company of New Jersey, Ideal Education, New Jersey Environmental Justice Alliance, and Hugo New Realty. It's a tongue twister. $500,000 was given to Elizabeth Development Company to provide hands-on solar energy training. The training is taking place in Jersey City with the first iteration to launch in 2026. Next, we have Ideal Education that was awarded $1.5 million. That was to provide training to become certified New Jersey Clean Energy Program installers and weatherization and energy auditors. They are planning to start in 2026, and it will be taking place in Pleasantville. Next, we have New Jersey Environmental Justice Alliance. They were awarded $1,373,000 to provide training on building systems, weatherization, and HVAC. The first cohort is also set to start in 2026. And lastly, we have Hugo New Realty. They were given $976,987 to provide training leading to green stormwater infrastructure certification and electric vehicle infrastructure training certification. And this will be a hybrid training. I can't see the bottom of the slide, so.
It just says that it'll be taking place in Kearney, New Jersey.
Thank you.
And currently in the planning phase.
Thanks, Ahmed.
Yep.
Thank you, Ina. So all of those grant programs, I think, are potential partners for the manufacturing tax credit. That's a list of ideas of organizations you might want to talk to, or the type of organization you might want to talk to. But that's clearly not an exhaustive list. It's just 4 grants that were made last year. So here you have our sign up for the newsletter that we send on a quarterly basis. Those are also posted on our Clean Energy page, which is linked here. And if you have general questions you don't want to ask during this session, you're always welcome to email us at the cleanenergy@njeda.gov email address, and we try to get back to folks within 1 to 2 business days. But that QR code should work if you're not already on our email list. However, if you sign up for this webinar, you will be added to the email list, so you don't have to do it twice. And I think now we're going to shift into questions and answers. So if folks have anything they would like to ask about anything that we presented or anything else, welcome those questions or comments at this point. Giving it a minute in case folks are shy. Or we have stunned you all to silence.
Theodore?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Cool. I was just curious about the one of the last slides that was talking about the Elizabeth Development Company doing the NABCEP and OSHA training in Jersey City. Do you know? I saw that there's a sign up as part of that. Do you know? That's something that I'd be interested in. Do you know if that's something that I can learn more about those kinds of programs?
Yes, so we're happy to put the general interest form link into the chat in case you're interested in applying or if others are. And then I don't know if we have a link to a description about the program in general or anything else you want to say about.
About the Green Workforce Training Grant Challenge. We could
Yeah,
also send the link to the webpage.
that'd be great.
Thank you.
Thanks for the question. Any other questions or comments?
I currently don't see anyone else with their hands raised at this time.
And thanks, Ina, for throwing the link into the chat there. Like Jasmine said at the beginning, we'll be sharing a recording and also the slides from this presentation. So you should be able to click through to the sign up form for those two trainings if you're interested. One more call for questions. Going once, going twice. Okay. Well, like I said earlier, we welcome feedback, questions, at any time. So if you do have a question after the fact, or if you're watching this recording later, please do feel free to reach out to us at the cleanenergy@njeda.gov email address, and we'll get back to you based on what your question is. It may get funneled to the right person. And I want to thank the whole team for working together to pull together a suite of programs for New Jersey businesses and institutions to access and for helping to present on this webinar. Jasmine, you want to close us out?
Thank you all for joining our webinar today and have a great day, everyone.